to my channel. Today's video, I'm just gonna do a little Q&A. I feel like I have not filmed a Q&A in a really long time, and these are just nice to film periodically to, like, I don't know, let you guys know more about me and to answer your questions and all that good stuff. So I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions, and I'm just gonna go through and answer as many as I can. There's some wedding planning questions in here, student teaching, college, all that stuff, and just like life in general, and then some like random fun little questions. So I'm really excited. So let's just go ahead and get on into it. First question is, what has been the hardest decision to make regarding a wedding planning? Hands down, I think like one of the most important decisions that you have to make, and also the hardest decision, if I can speak, is picking a venue, because everything surrounds the venue. Once you pick the venue, then you can decide like what the theme is, what the vibe is, the date, which is super important. Like you need to know what day you're getting married on so that you can tell all the other vendors stuff. And once you find the place that you get married, you can just like kind of start to picture it and get all of the little details together. So I definitely think that's the hardest part. That's the thing that I wanted to get done first, and I definitely struggled with it. We started looking, like as soon as Eddie and I got engaged, we started looking for venues, and I quickly realized it was not gonna be as easy as I thought it was gonna be. It took us a little while to decide on a venue, and I definitely think that was the hardest part, but I'm really happy with what we decided to do. Somebody else just said, I wanna know all the wedding plans, so I'll just like quickly, if you guys haven't seen, I think I talked about it in like a vlog or something, but just really quickly, I'll like spew off what we know and what we're doing. So we're getting married in May of 2021. We're going to a beach. We're doing like a backyard beach house wedding. So I got a beach house for like all of the bridal party and Eddie and I to stay in, and so we'll do the ceremony on the beach. We'll get like a little arch and have like some cute little chairs. We'll get married on the beach, and then the reception will be back at the beach house. It'll like literally, they'll just walk back to the backyard. There's like a pool area. We'll like have it all set up for a reception. It'll just be like really, really low key. We'll still do all the important stuff that like you do at a wedding. It'll just be like a very small, intimate thing, which I always wanted. So I'm really excited. I think it's gonna look really pretty, like the vision that I have for it. I'm so excited. That's pretty much what we have solidified for now. And now we're like in the process of getting photographer, videographer, which are both like probably, besides the venue, like the two other most important things to get, in my opinion, because those are the things that you like take away from your wedding day. We decided to do a beach house. I can't remember if I talked about this. We did decide to do a beach house because weddings are really expensive. Like, I don't know what you guys know about wedding planning, but as soon as we got started planning, I was like, holy guacamole. Like, weddings are so much more expensive than I ever thought that they would be. So we wanted to just do something like a little bit more. Like if we're gonna spend money on a wedding, we wanted it to be not just one night. So like we'll be down at the beach, I think it's like for 4 days or something like that. So it's like a whole experience that we get to have, and just like a whole event, a whole like a couple days. Like we get to have it for a couple days and just kind of like drag it out a little bit. So that's part of the reason that we decided to go do it at the beach, which I love. I never thought I'd get married at the beach, but now like I don't see it any other way, and I'm so excited. Is it awkward sometimes because your fiance lives with you and your parents? That's a good question because I really thought it was going to be really, really bad going into it. I was like, I don't know, but it's been really good. It's like, I don't know. I see how it could be awkward, and we definitely want to have our own place. We definitely want to like be in our own space. This is just like a temporary situation that we are in because we want to move out and like be financially very secure. And this is just like kind of like a sacrifice that we have to make to do that. So we're good with it. We're cool with it. Like it's been fun. Just for our situation and our circumstances, like I just don't think that I would do it any other way. Like it's perfect for us, you know? What advice could you give to a high school senior? Oh my goodness, high school. I think like the biggest thing is high school does not last forever. Like high school is like this much time, and then you move on and there's college and like so many fun, exciting things. But like when you're in high school, it just feels like high school is like end all be all, but you're gonna grow and change so much from high school to like once you get a little bit older. Like thinking back to how I was in high school is just crazy to me because I feel like a whole new different person. I don't know, personally I really enjoyed high school. Like I loved it. I loved my friends, I loved my friend groups, like I loved my schedule. I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't have a super hard time going through high school, but I know it can be like really difficult for some people. And I think like the biggest thing to remember is it doesn't last forever. How do you prioritize different aspects of your life? Fiance, friends, school, work, etc. Honestly, it's really hard right now to balance everything just the way that my schedule is and school is right now. Like, it is not easy at all. So like, I'm in school, I'm doing like a student teaching, like I'm in the field at a school 2 days, and then I'm like in classes a lot of evenings, and like Eddie's schedule is like the complete opposite. So like being able to see him, I only like, even though we live together, like I only really see him on the weekends, and it's hard to find time to hang out with friends because when they're done with work, I'm in class. Schoolwork is a lot in grad school. It's like a lot of readings, a lot of assignments. It's definitely heavy on the workload. So it is hard, but you just have to make it a priority. The things that you need in your life, you will prioritize. So the time that I do have, I make sure to prioritize. Like, I make sure every week that I have certain time to hang out with Eddie. Like, I get done with class a little bit earlier on Tuesdays. So like right now, that's like our day where we can like just hang out. Like, I'm not going to do homework when I get home. Like, I'm just going to take that like hour or 2 hours before we go to bed to just like hang out with him. You just have to like make time for it and make it a point to hang out with friends, hang out with family, balance your schoolwork, like make sure you're getting all that stuff done. Obviously, like working what you can without overdoing it is really important so that you can have money and feel financially secure, but like not be like dying trying to work too many hours. It's just something that you have to figure out, but I definitely think that you can make it work. You just have to prioritize the things that are really important to you. How did you know that teaching was the career path you wanted to take? So for those of you who haven't been with me for the longest time, I'll give like a little background. So I graduated with my degree in psychology, pre-occupational therapy. I was accepted into an occupational therapy program. It's a master's degree. So I was like accepted, ready to go, ready to roll. In my occupational therapy program, I always wanted to work with kids. Like, I always knew that from like the age of 12. Like, I always knew I wanted to work with kids, and then I like started to question it my sophomore year of college. I was like, oh, is this the path I want to take to work with kids? And then I was like, no, I like shook that out of my head and then continued with my psychology degree. And then by the time I came around to graduate, there was just like something pulling at me that was like, I just feel like I need my own kids. So pretty much I dropped out of my occupational therapy program before it even started. I gave my spot to somebody else and pursued my master's in education because I wanted to have pretty much like a more widespread impact, I guess. I don't know how to really explain it other than occupational therapy is great. They help people, they do so much, it's so amazing, but you only see the kids like a couple times a week, or maybe you only see them for a couple months. In some cases, you like obviously see them longer, but that's not always the case. Whereas like when you're teaching, you have like, I don't know, 25 students that are like all yours for a full school year, and you get to like impact and shape them and help them grow and watch them grow and like see what they're turning into. It's just so amazing. Like, I just wanted to be that like role model for kids. Like, I wanted to be their support. I wanted to help them. I wanted to love them and show them that I was there to support them no matter what. And ultimately, that's what swayed me into doing teaching instead of occupational therapy. I just wanted to like have my own kiddos. When do you and Eddie plan on getting your own place? This is really up in the air. We're not sure. Like, this is something that we're still talking about. Definitely by the time we get married, so definitely by May of next year we'll be in our own place. But right now we're not sure like what we want to do. Like, do we want to get a house? Do we want to buy a house? Do we want to rent a house? Do we want to rent an apartment? Like, what exactly do we want to do? That's like kind of what we're in the process of figuring out. What are you planning on doing after getting your master's degree? So I will be licensed to teach pre-K through 3rd grade, but I'll graduate in December, which is an odd time of the year to like be graduating with the teaching license because obviously school is in session, so schools aren't typically hiring teachers. So I'll probably be like subbing or something until the following fall. It'll be the fall after we get married, Eddie and I get married, and then I'll probably start teaching, hopefully. How did you know Eddie was the one? I think that sometimes it's just one of those things where like, you know, when you know, like we met and we went out on our first date, and I literally knew, like, from the second we had our first date, like, I just knew he was gonna be something really special. I don't think I knew the extent of it, but I like remember thinking like, this is gonna be something like special. I knew it was gonna be like something long-term, something serious. I could just tell from how he was, how I was, how we like vibed together. Like, I don't know, I just like had this feeling, and I would say like very quickly, it was probably like a month or two until I was like, yep, like this, like he like is everything that I've ever wanted in somebody and more. Is student teaching hard? So I'm not like student teaching all the way right now. Like, I think I'm technically called a student teacher. I was a student teacher last year, a student teacher this year, like that's what you're called, but I'm not like doing my full-time student teaching where like I'm in charge of the class and I'm teaching them every day. I'm just kind of like in the like beginning stages of that. But I would say it's hard. Like, I really think you learn about all these things in your classes. Like, there's so many different things that go into teaching, you learn about them all, but like applying them and like using them in practice is so much different and so much harder, because there's so many different things and different kids, and you want to give what you can to the kids so that they get what they need out of it. It is like, I think it's very difficult. I like have so much respect for teachers. Like, I always respected teachers, but now that like I'm in it, I have even more respect for them, because there's so much that goes into it that you just don't realize. And for me, I'm like a very shy person. I am very like reserved at first. Then once you like get to know me, I really open up, and then I like don't stop talking, and I'm like silly and goofy, whatever, you know what I mean? So for me, student teaching is hard because it's hard for me to get past that like initial phase and like let the kids like see who I am and like let loose in front of them, whereas like I'm just so nervous, mostly because I know that there's people watching me. Like, I know my mentor teacher's watching me, I know like maybe my supervisor's watching me, and like they're like trying to think of things that they can tell me to help me and give me like tips and what I could do differently. And that I think just makes me so nervous that like I get so nervous when I go to like do my student teaching stuff. So I don't think it's like the most easy thing, but I think you get more comfortable the more that you do it. Not to mention, I think you learn like so much from it. Like, you learn so much from doing it. Who do you want to win Peter's season of The Bachelor? This is great because I don't like any of the girls this season. I don't know what it is. I just like am not, normally there's like a handful of girls where I'm like, oh, this is so good. Like, I love them. This season, I just feel like I don't really like any of the girls. The only girl that I actually like on the show is Maddie, whatever she goes by. I think she's like so great, so cute, so sweet, but all of the other girls, like, I just don't like them at all. And I know I'm not alone, because a lot of my friends think the same thing. Let me know if you guys think the same thing also, but I just like, I don't know, I just don't like them, and I don't like them for him. And I really like Maddie, and then of course like Hannah B. Like, it's my theory that I think that they end up together in the end, and that's why you can't find any spoilers, because I am the person that like always looks up the spoilers before the season begins, because I want to know who wins before I start watching it. I just think it's like more fun to watch it that way, and there's like no spoilers for that. So I think in my head, my theory is that him and Hannah Brown get back together. But if they don't get back together, I really hope it's Maddie. What's your ideal 5-year plan at this point? In 5 years, I'll be 27. So definitely, well, obviously I'll be married, and I would like to like have started my teaching career and have some babies. I like have always wanted to have kids. That was one of the other questions, is like, how long after Eddie and I get married do I think that we'll have kids? Who honestly really knows for sure, but I've always like known in my heart, like I just want to be a mom. Like, that's like my goal in life. Like, that's like my purpose. Like, I know I just like need to be a mom one day. It depends, but honestly, like, I would love to have kids soon after and just like start a family and have a bunch of kiddos. What's your current Starbucks order? I've been ordering the same thing for like literally forever. It's my go-to drink always. It's an iced blonde latte with vanilla or sugar-free vanilla if I'm trying to be healthy, and soy milk. I'm just gonna go ahead and end this video here. I feel like I answered a lot of you guys' questions, a lot of wedding ones and school ones, which is like my life right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe by clicking down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.